many of you have ever felt like giving up? Hey, I'll throw hands, feet, legs, everything in the air for that. How many of you have ever felt like you weren't good enough? I've been there. I've done that. Ran around that block a couple times. But I have another question for you. How many of you believe that God's a God of hope? I do. So if God is a God of hope, the opposite of hope is what? Somebody?
Hopeless.
Hopelessness. Do you agree? You see, hopelessness tells you that you're not good enough. Hopelessness tells you that you can't make it. Hopelessness tells you that you will never be what you so desire to be. So if God is a God of hope, and the opposite of hope is hopelessness, then hopelessness must be your what? Your enemy. You see, because hopelessness tries to disqualify you. But I got good news, you see. You see, when Jesus Christ died upon that cross, thousands of years ago, he qualified each and every one of you. Can I tell you that I've had the privilege of talking to some of you? And when I say that I believe in you, I mean it with every fiber of my being, you see, because I know that the creator of the universe has qualified you even before the foundations of the world. So, I want us to look at the passage in Jeremiah. And if you have your sheets, I kindly ask that you look at it. And we're going to read from Jeremiah chapter 18, reading from verses 1 through 6. But before we read it, I want to tell you a little bit about Jeremiah. Somebody say Jeremiah.
Jeremiah.
Somebody say cry baby.
Cry baby.
Truth is, Jeremiah in the Bible, he was known as the weeping prophet. You see, because he would always be crying, Stephen. Always. And he wasn't crying because he was a crybaby. He was crying because he saw the state of Israel. And he saw that the people of Israel, they were doing things that displeased God. Somebody say displeased God.
Displeased God.
You see, they were in a state, they were worshiping other idols, they were committing adultery, they were doing all kinds of stuff. And he cried out for his people. You see, when he saw his brother or his sister hurting, or his neighbors hurting, he felt their pain. And so throughout the scripture, we know him as the weeping prophet because he felt for his people. Can I tell you that here, during this detail, here during this training, some of you are going to be crying. Can I tell you that it doesn't make you a crybaby? It just means that you're being broken down the same way Jeremiah was often broken down. So Israel is in a chaotic state. And Jeremiah is crying out to God. And God tells Jeremiah to do this, and you can read it on your paper, starting with verse 1. It says, this is the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord. Verse 2, go down to the potter's house, and there I will give you my message. The scripture goes on to say that he went down to the potter's house, and there he saw him working at the wheel. I want you to pause for a second. How many of you have ever done pottery? You've ever made anything at a wheel? All right, well, check this out. Back in those days, it wasn't electric. Back in those days, a potter would sit down on a wooden stool, and in order to work a wheel, he would have two pedals, and his feet would constantly have to move, and his hands would have to constantly be shaping his pot. So you see, it was hard work to create a vessel. So Jeremiah goes down and he sees the potter, and the potter's sitting down, working at the wheel. But guess what? The scripture says in verse 4, but the pot he was shaping from the clay was marred. Somebody say marred.
Marred.
Do you know what that word means? Graduate, leadership. You see, the word